It's the end of the year, virtually, and for many, it's a time to unwind, celebrate, and let loose. It's a month where traditions, festivities, wild nights collide into a celebration like no other. From the joyous gatherings to the uninhibited nights, December is more than a month. It's a mood. Some Nigerians are leaving the country, others have returned and are still returning where their heart truly belongs. Arise analyst Constance Ikokwu dives into the stories, the people, and the spirit behind returning home and having a good time in December. Check this out.
Every day, more Nigerians pack their bags in what is popularly known as Japa and take a leap into the unknown, searching for opportunities beyond our borders. For many, it's a story of sacrifice, leaving behind loved ones and the familiar, chasing dreams in lands far from home. As they leave, what's left behind? A nation losing its brightest minds, its skilled workers and its future leaders. But there's also reverse migration. There are Nigerians choosing to return home. After years away, they come back to reconnect with the family, reignite their roots and immerse themselves in the warmth of their homeland. The stories are diverse as the people, professionals bringing back global expertise, entrepreneurs starting new ventures, and families eager to raise their children in the warmth of home. For these returnees, it's that time of the year, Christmas, a time when Nigerians plan the ultimate reunion with family, friends, and culture. It features vibrant social scenes, cultural celebrations, music and entertainment, and travel and tourism. I've been invited to a get-together by a group of returnees who celebrated Thanksgiving ahead of Christmas and the New Year. Thanksgiving is an annual American holiday to celebrate the harvest of the last year. It holds fourth Thursday of November. Since many of the returnees still have families in the US, they've decided to plan their own Nigerian Thanksgiving. The location is Jahi, one of the newly developing areas in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling, it's a promise of opportunity, growth, and the chance to make an impact where it matters most. Take Otuya Okecha, an ICT consultant who used to live in the United States of America. He came back for the sake of country. The same goes for Geraldine Oba, a project manager for an art company who left the US for Nigeria.
I returned from the United States a long time ago. Christmas in Nigeria is a time where members of families reunite and celebrate, just have fun.
I moved back because I came to serve my country, and then I ended up staying due to some, personal issues that occurred. And here I am.
As it pertains to Christmas particularly, Austin Otta, a lawyer who lived in the United Kingdom, says the weather makes all the difference. It's freezing during Christmas in England. For this reason, he will choose Nigeria any day.
And I was based in England for a rather long period, and I'm back in Nigeria. Now, Christmas in England used to be colorful, but it was too cold. I don't have plenty, I'm not very fat, so it was too cold. I never really liked it that much. Okay? When I was small, yes, but as an adult, not really.
He goes on to expatiate why he believes Nigeria is more fun.
Now, Nigeria is like gold. It's totally different because if you're in Calabar, for example, you have the carnival and it's so colorful. People come from Brazil, they come from everywhere, and you have fun there. You have fun every day.
That's not all. Oje Nwobodo, who works in HR, describes December in Nigeria this way.
Dirty December in Nigeria is epic, especially in Lagos. It's so many activities. A lot of us come back. It's so much fun. There's melding of culture. So you have us coming from the UK, the United States, Thailand, India. It's just fun to be back. And, it just reminds us of what we're missing in Nigeria, how much tourism we have in the country.
Not only that, OJ speaks to tourism potential and the fact that one can appreciate Nigeria more around this period.
30 December contributes financial growth and helps with the tourism industry in Nigeria because it reminds people of what we have and what we're missing while we're abroad. And you can't beat the weather. The weather is amazing, so you can't beat that.
For returnees in Abuja, settling in, marking Thanksgiving, and getting ready for a fun-filled December would have been impossible without help. This gathering, which was organized by an association, is made up of recent and old returnees from different parts of the world, in addition to diaspora Nigerians visiting only for Christmas. Chinwoba tells us more about the group.
It's basically an association of individuals from the diaspora, Canada, UK, America, South Africa, and it was basically a way to form a community. And the whole point was to help with the transition of coming back home. So transition when it comes to getting friends, getting work, housing, employment, networking, business. The association basically makes everything easy.
Today, they've contributed food, drinks, and their time to make it eventful. Although the country is undergoing economic challenges, people are finding ways to stay positive. Gift Eniele came back to Nigeria from Thailand in 2018. She's an accountant with a mental health institute. She also cherishes the family time in December.
It's more about the family. You know, during Christmas we all get to spend time together, and you know we all bond. We share experiences together, and yeah, that's basically it.
The lineup of events for this month is packed. From the look of things, returnees in Lagos and Abuja, the transit cities of Nigeria, cannot wait. There'll be beach parties, underground music experience, single meetings, art exhibitions, private movie viewing, house parties, picnics, fashion shows, hiking, charity events, pool parties, game night, and more. It is a case of reconnect, reignite, rediscover, and have fun while doing it. Constance Ikokwu, Arise News, Abuja.
Well, Arise analyst Dr. Constance Ikokwu, who did that report, joins me now in the studio.
Good morning, Charles.
Merry Christmas, Constance.
Merry Christmas to you. You like to work. Why are you at work today?
The show must go on even if it's Christmas. I mean, how would people know it's Christmas if we don't talk about it?
I know.
And of course, such a very lovely story. Now, that's the untold story. We keep telling stories about Japa, and now that is the story of reverse Japa. Now, I'm just christening it, although it might just have its own unique expression. So, Nigerians who lived abroad, yes, doing the opposite of what most Nigerians want to do. Many want to leave the country to go abroad. Those who have been there are coming back because last, they realize that east or west, literally, home is the best.
Charles, you're absolutely correct. It's a kind of reverse immigration, and you use the correct word. It's an untold story. Most times, especially over the past couple of years, we've had this wave of migration, people, you know, literally fleeing abroad. When you look at the figures, the Nigerian Immigration Service told us that between 2022 and 2023, more than 3.6 million Nigerians ran away, literally. And then in 2022, they had, I think, one of the most applications for passports, over 1.8 million passports applied for. And then also the same year, 2022, you had the most Nigerians migrating to Canada in the space, you know, for the last 9 years. So we hear this again and again, whether it's doctors, nurses, and all sorts of professions. However, there are many Nigerians who have lived abroad and who have decided, you know what, I prefer to return to Nigeria.
Absolutely.
We don't really have that statistics, but personally, I know a lot. You know, and I'm sure if you asked around your community, your neighborhood, you would find
I do
people
have friends like that. My own classmate and his wife, whom was a childhood friend. emigrated to Canada, raised their kids there, and they are back here in Nigeria. And you know what? When I asked her, when I met them in church last Sunday, she said, see, my parlor, my sitting room here in Nigeria is bigger than my entire apartment in Canada. So it actually tells me something about, you know, the standard of living over there comparable to what is over here. So it makes me wonder, so where are we running off to?
No, that's true. So one of the reasons why people say they want to go abroad is, you know, there are limited job opportunities here. That's true.
Okay.
There's also that idealized West as somewhere where, you know, you find gold on the streets. And that's not exactly the case. And a lot of people act out of ignorance. They do not know or understand until they get there.
Yeah.
You know, there are also challenges there. There are different types of challenges. There are also different types of challenges in Nigeria. And so when you get there, for a lot of people, some make it. Not everyone who goes abroad makes it.
A minute percentage by comparison.
A lot of people eventually cannot even, you know, put together $1,500 to get a flight ticket home, and they are stuck, you know. And then you get those that arrive there. Initially, they have to struggle. You have to do care work, back-breaking care work in order to earn a living, or you are a security man, or you're a cleaner, and maybe you are a bank manager or a bank official here in Nigeria.
That's
so
a good job, you know, by all means.
Right. No, there's nothing wrong with being a cleaner or a bus driver or a caregiver. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with it, but I mean, the question is it necessary? What exactly is the motivating factor behind leaving a comfortable, gainful employment here and then going over there? But you know, you talked about the idealization of the West as being the place to be until we get there, and then we realize that, excuse me, I mean, what I am doing here, I can actually make it happen back home.
And when you speak to some of these people who have returned, there are various reasons. There are some who think, you know what, I would like to bring up my child or children in this culture, rather than, so for instance, in America, where it's a totally different culture, and when you're raising children, you found Nigerian parents that get into trouble because there's a way to do things. And then there are those that feel like, I want to come back home and build generational wealth. This is where I can do it for my family and my lineage. There's also people that feel like, if you want a regular 9-to-5 job abroad that is relatively stable, you can have that. However, if you want to dream bigger and do something bigger than yourself for your continent, for your country, then here is the place to do it. So when you discuss with middle-class Nigerians, for instance, a lot of the middle-class Nigerians here are quite comfortable, although we've been struggling for some years.
Absolutely.
When you compare that to going abroad, that status that you have in Nigeria might not be the same when you go abroad.
Exactly.
On the reverse, for people that are at the bottom here in Nigeria, if you go abroad and you get a job, say as a bus driver, you can earn a decent income to take care of yourself.
Up from what you were used to over here.
And your family. So there are, you know, various reasons, but the thing is that people must understand that abroad is not all that is cracked out to be.
True.
No, there are merits and demerits.
Well, one of the merits I see is that, you know, you go there, you get the exposure, you know, maybe here the view might be a bit limited, but then over there you have a globalized view because you know what works here, you know how it works over there. Of course, that knowledge becomes very, very critical when you decide to export it back to Nigeria here. And I think when you do that, our country will be better off for it. So, well, Japa is not a bad thing, but of course, when the reverse Japa, I think is even better.
No, so exposure is fantastic.
Absolutely.
There are people, what's the reason you're traveling? There are those that want to travel for the sake of knowledge and for the fact that they love travel is a hobby. And in the process of doing that, you're very clear-eyed about what you're doing. You're gaining knowledge, you're gaining exposure, and you want to use it when you return home. There are people that are just fleeing for the sake of fleeing. You know, so when you get there, you might be disappointed to find that it's not what you had
Imagined.
envisioned, yeah, for
yes.
yourself. You know, and like I said, some just get stuck. For those who come back to Nigeria with a lot of experiences and want to give back, maybe the country should begin to think about ways, you know, to help them. And that's why the lady Chunwoba talked about having an association, because sometimes it's difficult to reintegrate yourself into Nigeria when you return initially. So if there's a group or an association or a structured way to do it, these people can, you know, contribute more to the development of their country.
Well, then I think, you know, exporting our people there who will come back and help develop our country based on the blueprint they get from the exposure is absolutely very key.
We have to be careful with blueprint because you cannot cut and paste. Every country is different.
Not cut and paste,
so
like I said, blueprint, but of course we can actually retailer it to fit our own unique needs.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Constance, for that extremely wonderful story.